All right. So, welcome to this week's chat where we will get ourselves out of denial and ready to move ourselves towards the top of our mountain. So, when we talk about self sabotage, I want you to release the negativity around it. There's no shame and no guilt allowed to take root because we're always doing the best that we can with our current level of awareness. Maybe you could identify that you were sabotaging your growth. Maybe you were sabotaging your goals, but you couldn't seem to move past it. Or maybe you were completely unaware of this. Either way, that was then, and this is now. So over the past few weeks, we have defined self-sabotage and where it can come from. Essentially, when we start envisioning something new, aiming higher than ever before, trying something new, our subconscious mind tends to pull us back to the safety of what it knows as normal and comfortable. This is where our behaviors that we tend to label as self-sabotage come from. So that's where you get this um, tugging of where you want to go and falling back to where you've always been, right? It's uncomfortable and it's new. So we tend to go one step forward towards something new and then two steps backwards, right? We fall back into that comfort and that safe zone. And that's where that self-sabotage can come from, is that back and forth. So let me ask you something. Have you ever had a great idea for a business and feel tension and anger when it comes time to actually get to work? Or do you have a new project that you need to work on, but you simply can't bring yourself to do it? Or maybe you have a great new relationship and then you keep bailing on the plans. This is resistance. Most likely, you have felt this at one time in your life. Can you think of another scenario where you have felt this? Or maybe you felt like you were at a crossroad, frozen at the intersection, not knowing which way to go. So you choose the same path you came from. Okay? I encourage you to let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments if you're watching live on Facebook. Let me know, have you ever felt this feeling of resistance? So we often feel resistance in the face of what's going right in our lives, not what's going wrong. When we have a problem to solve, resistance is usually nowhere to be found. But when we have something to enjoy, something to create or build, we are tapping into a part of ourselves that is trying to thrive instead of just survive. And the unfamiliarity can be daunting. So I'm no stranger to the feeling of resistance, especially lately, as I am embracing the new ideas and aiming more than ever to step into my goal achieved self. But want to know a secret? I am learning to embrace resistance. Why? Because it means that I'm tapping into new territory. I'm creating and building something new that will allow me and my family to thrive. I thank resistance for showing me that I am on the right path towards my goals, towards the top of my mountain. If there was no resistance, it means that I would be doing what was comfortable and safe. Now, don't get me wrong, comfortable and safe, that used to be where I love to live. But now that I've tapped into what I desire, what my passions are, and these big goals that I have, when I feel the resistance, I know that I'm on the right path because I know that I'm creating that new, I'm growing, right? And resistance can be your way of slowing down and making sure that it's safe to get attached to something new and important. Or it can be a warning sign that something isn't quite right. And you might need to step back and regroup. So resistance can mean two different things. It can be you have to slow down and you're trying to make sure that you're safe and that you can get attached, or it could be a warning sign. And when I first read this, and again, a lot of the content of these webinars are coming from this book right here. And when I first read this, I remember asking myself, well, what the heck? How do I know which one it is? It turns out it's all about that gut feeling. It's as simple as that. Maybe you get an interesting and amazing, exciting download through a meditation and you get excited. The more you focus on it and the more you play around with it, you start feeling that feeling in your stomach like you want to puke, but you're excited at the same time. And the potential makes you smile, right? So that's one situation. Or maybe you're walking down a dark alley alone and you could feel that gut feeling again, making you question your decision, and you stay frozen in your tracks. Resistance is at play in both of these situations, right? But we all know, even just explaining this, that one of these gut feelings is a good one, and the other one is there, and we need to listen, right? Because it's warning us. So both of these situations, our gut feelings are coming in and they're keeping us safe. So with the new idea, the gut feeling, the resistance is coming in and it's saying, oh, but that's a lot of unknown. I don't know what's over there. I don't know what that's going to look like. I need to stay back here. And the second one is also keeping us safe, right? Our gut feeling is telling us that there's a danger that to our physical body, right? We're picking up on those vibrations around us. So both of these situations, our resistance is keeping us safe. But in one of these cases, that safety is also what's holding us back. So scenario one, if we stay in the comfort and safety of what we know, we risk all the potential that is on the other side. Scenario two, if we stay in the comfort of the street light, we risk maintaining our physical safety, right? So to tell the difference, we need to take a few moments and scan our body, our mind, our thoughts, and determine the source of the resistance. So this is important because it will help us determine whether the resistance needs to be listened to or whether we are aware of it and we keep going. So if you're feeling resistance in any area of your life, know that there's a way to turn this into ease and flow, into surrender. So first, you have to pay attention to the reason that resistance is showing up. So I strongly encourage you to journal on it. This allows all the thoughts to come out on paper, and it helps us make sense of it. So ask yourself good questions. I'll be sharing a few questions to help you shortly. Allow yourself the time, meditate, sit in silence, and refocus yourself. Get clear on what it is that you're working towards achieving. Get clear on the risks you're taking, whether you remain safe and comfortable, and the risks that will present themselves if you move past the resistance. Because remember, there are risks either way. There are risks if you stay still, and there are risks if you move forward. Okay, so journal on it. Pay attention to where the reason that the resistance is coming up. Journal on the situation. Okay. Get clear on the risks of either side. And then identify unconscious beliefs. This can be generational beliefs or those you picked up along the way through your life and your situations. Maybe if you're aiming at a money goal, you may hear the age-old belief that money doesn't grow on trees, or to have more money, we need to work harder. Be aware of these beliefs. Again, write them down. When we write things down, it allows room in our mind to free up, and it allows us to look at the thoughts through new eyes. So whenever you're struggling on something, write it down, brain dump everything that's in there. Because once you write it down, then you can actually put order to it. Okay? Identify the beliefs that aren't serving you anymore. Thank them for the journey so far and break up with them. You're done with them. Okay? So once you're writing them down, what I had done, because I love color coding and the organization and the order and the prettiness, I wrote down all the beliefs that I could identify. And then I grabbed 2 different colored highlighters. One of them were beliefs that were serving me and that I needed to keep around. The second color were the beliefs that, now that I saw them on paper, were ridiculous and didn't serve me at all. And it was crazy how one color dominated. And it wasn't the one that was serving me. So then I knew what I had to work on, right? But having it on paper and seeing the difference between the column of keep and the one of needing to ditch, there was a lot of work to do. But now I knew where I had to go. Okay. Next, we need to desire the outcome. We need to desire the goal. We need to fall in love with the goal. I want you to dream of it. I want you to obsess over it, because these feelings are what will carry you forward. Okay, your dreams, your passions, your goals, that's the fuel. So here are a few questions to help you journal on this, okay? I encourage you to jot them down or come back to them if you're watching the recording, screenshot them, whatever you need to do, okay? So where and when do I feel most resistant? What is the worst thing that could happen? I find this question extremely helpful when I'm feeling resistance, because it allows me to see how ridiculous my paradigm is being. And I used to be the queen of worst case scenarios. So what's the worst thing that can happen? And you'll notice how your mind will jump from one thing to another. All of a sudden, one teeny tiny little rock has turned into a ginormous mountain. And it was all just because you let your mind kind of take off with it, right? So then what is the best possible outcome? And here I encourage you to play the what if game. What if I move towards my goals? What if I achieve my goals? What if I exceed my own expectations? And have fun with this. This is where your fuel will come in or come from. This is where the passion comes in. It's where the desire sits. Okay, and be careful here, because when you start jotting down the best possible outcomes, your mind, your paradigm is going to play tricks on you. You're going to think of a best possible outcome, and then all of a sudden, no, that's not possible. And then you'll think of something else and you'll hear that voice. No, that's silly. That's the resistance coming in. And I want you to tell it that you are playing a game right now and it needs to go away. Let you play the game. Okay? Because once you write down all those best possible outcomes, There's some good nuggets in there. Okay. What am I risking if I move forward? Remember, there's a risk either way. So if you move towards your goals, what are you risking? And the opposite, if you stay as it is, status quo, what are you risking? Okay. The next thing I want to mention, okay, an amazing tool to help us move ourselves from resistance to surrender is autosuggestion. So autosuggestion is a form of self-induced suggestion in which we can guide our own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. When we use autosuggestion, we subconsciously plant ideas in our mind. Through the repetition of these statements and with the help of powerful words such as I am, our subconscious believes it. Okay. Anything that follows I am, our subconscious mind believes it. So be careful how you are using those two powerful words. Okay. Now, I want to add that we are auto-suggesting all day long. But now you have the power to choose your messages that you are auto-suggesting. Choose the thoughts and the messages that will help you move forward. So just like plants that we plant in a garden and nourish with water, care, we allow sunlight, it will grow. Our thoughts are the same. So the thoughts that you plant in your subconscious mind and nourish with repetition, emotion, conviction, and faith will become a reality. So once we've identified that resistance and we've identified where it comes from or why it's showing up, and then we add fuel to our fire by establishing what it is that we want, okay, then this is where we can tap into the auto-suggestion. So if I'm aiming for a money goal, I'm going to start auto-suggesting that I am worthy of abundance. Okay. And this is where Pinterest is an amazing tool to find affirmations. So when I feel like I need a new affirmation, right? I need a new message to feel inspired by, something I want to auto-suggest to myself, I turn to Pinterest for inspiration. But be careful. Make sure you don't get yourself stuck in the scroll hole, okay? So here are a few affirmations that I resonate with when talking about resistance and surrendering. So it could be, I surrender my resistance and I allow the universe to give me what I need. I am now divinely guided and allow my life to flow in ease, grace, and bliss. I release what no longer serves me to make space for new beginnings. I surrender my plans and release control. I allow my intuition and the energy of love to be my guides. Okay. I also recommend looking on YouTube for visualizations to help release control and surrender. Okay, there are visualizations that are 5 minutes, and then there are some that are 45 minutes. So pick your time. If you've got 5 minutes, 5 minutes is good. Okay, and all I did on YouTube was visualizations for surrender, and I had a ton of them come up. Okay, I personally like the 5-minute ones because I enjoy doing it before I study in the morning or before I fall asleep. Okay. So another amazing tool that I want to mention, because it's available to us, is the power of plants and natural pure essential oils. I absolutely love the Peace Blend that doTERRA has, and it's part of my bedtime routine. I apply it to my temples, to the back of my neck before I lay down. And then once I lay down, I go into my visualization or my auto suggestions, depending on which one I'm resonating with that night. Okay. And then we've got this Northern Escape blend, which is the oil of stable transitions. Okay. It can help you feel stable, adapting, enduring, grounded, accepted. It can help conserve your energy, surrender, control, or surrendering control. Okay, so these are both amazing blends that are available to you. And then two other ones that I wanted to mention. So we've got the Wintergreen, which is actually the oil of surrender. So it can turn your controlling, willful, needing to be right, burdened, excessive, self-reliance emotions. And it can help you tap into the surrender, to relying on divine grace. Okay. And all you would do with these oils, it's as simple as opening the bottle and taking a deep breath. Easy peasy. Okay. And the past tense that I have here is the oil of relief. And it's one of my favorites. It can be found in multiple rooms in my home. It's in my work desk. It's in my purse, my backpack. I use this one the second I feel resistance in any way. And when I feel resistance, I feel it in my physical body in the form of a knot in my chest. So I feel it right here. That's where my resistance shows up. Okay, I feel it in my body. And I compare it to a hippo sitting on my chest. Okay, so as soon as I feel that knot right here, I'll grab my past tense. As soon as I open the bottle, I can smell it and I apply it onto my chest, and then I just rub it in and I move into my auto suggestions. That's part of my routine. I rely on this. And whenever that resistance shows up, I know that the past tense ruler that I have is what I'm reaching for. Okay. It helps me move into the auto suggestions. So that's what I have for you today to help you move from resistance into surrender. And next week, join me so we can chat about our self-imposed limits and how we can bust through them. If you're not yet working with one of the amazing Pursuit Institute coaches, scan this QR code and book your free connection call with me. Let's connect and chat about how we can get you moving towards the top of your mountain. Have a good night, everyone.